I've launched over 24 campaigns for a single company in the last 4 weeks, which generated over 500 qualified opportunities for them. And here's the thing that's gonna blow your mind. I didn't use Clay, I didn't use Apollo, and I didn't use any of those famous GTM tools that you might know. Instead, I built this entire lead list, scraped it, enriched it, qualified it, and personalized it, and eventually launched the campaign all using Claude code. And I don't know a single line of code. And the craziest part, these companies used to spend anywhere around $500 to $1,000 every month just on lead scraping and enrichment tools like Clay, Apollo, SalesNav, and many more. But now their entire cost is just the $200 Claude Max plan along with some external APIs. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how I replaced my old tech stack with Claude Code and how I built lead list with it at scale. No fluff, just the real system. And honestly, if you're running outbound right now and still paying for 10 different tools, then you need to watch this till the end because this is going to change how you think about outbound in 2026. Okay, so let me give you some context first. For the last 2 years, my standard outbound tech stack was looking something like this. You would pay for tools like Sales Navigator or Apollo to find leads, then you would export them into your Clay table and use email finder tools to get their emails. And you'll use AI credits for your qualification and lead personalization. And then finally, you would load everything into your sending tool. That's 5 to 10 different tools and a lot of manual setup. And look, I'm not saying these tools are bad. I have literally built my business using Clay. I have a full course teaching Clay and how to use it to run your outbound. Those tools are incredible at what they do. But here's what changed. Claude Code came and it basically gave me a developer in my terminal. Except I don't need to speak developer. I speak English. I tell it what I want and it writes the code, hits the right API endpoints, handles the error and gives me the output. And once I realized that, I started replacing things one by one. So let me tell you exactly what I replaced and how. Alright, so use case number 1, and this is quite big. I have completely replaced Sales Navigator and Apollo.io for lead scraping. So whenever I need a lead list filtered by industry, job title, company size, location, the stuff you would normally go to Sales Navigator or Apollo for, I just open Claude Code, tell it those filters, and it scrapes that list for me. Like literally, I'll say it something like this. Hey, I need a list of 10,000 marketing directors with verified emails in SaaS companies in United States who are doing anywhere around $1 million to $10 million in ARR. And Claude Code takes that and structures that information into the right API formats. In this case, I'm using the Blitz API to scrape this search query, and it sends the appropriate HTTP API request to this specific service. After a few minutes, I get a list of 10,000 marketing directors with verified emails, exactly what I asked for. Now, here's what it makes this even better. Blitz API doesn't have a credit system. It's not like Apollo where you're burning through credits every time you export. Blitz API is a flat subscription, so whether I pull 100 leads or 10,000 leads, it's the same price. And because Claude Code handles the API calls, the formatting, the verification, the data cleanup and everything, I literally just describe my ICP in plain English and it just gives me a ready to use lead list. No clicking through filters, no exports, no reformatting spreadsheets. Now let's make things even more exciting. What if your target audience are very specific? For example, local businesses. Let's say if you're running outbound for HVAC companies or roofing companies or dental clinics. These aren't the kind of leads that you'd find on Sales Navigator or Apollo, right? These are local businesses that lives on Google Maps. So here's what I did. I used Claude Code to build a complete Google Maps scraper. And the way it works is actually really clever. Now, a normal person would just search that and get like 20 results from Google Maps, and that would be completely useless. But what Claude Code does is it breaks down my query down into dozens of subqueries automatically. First, it categorizes HVAC into multiple subcategories like plumbing, heating, ventilation, all the different service types. Then for each subcategory, it creates location specific searches. So instead of just California, it searches plumbers in Los Angeles, plumbers in San Diego, heating repair in Fresno. You get the idea. So one query from me turns into sometimes hundreds of Google Maps searches and it scrapes all the results. The business name, phone number, website, reviews, ratings, everything. And then it compiles everything into one single spreadsheet. They get the lead list and they start blasting emails. And that's exactly why their positive reply rates are garbage. Not every lead in your list actually deserves an email. Some of them can't afford your retainers. Some of them aren't the right fit. And some of them are just going to waste your time on a call and never close. So what I do is I qualify every single lead in my list before it ever hits my outreach tool. And this is where Claude Code becomes absolutely lethal. Here's how it works. I set a very strict qualification criteria for every campaign that I'm going to launch for myself. For example, one filter that I always use is that whether this company is investing on either of the marketing channel or not. Because if they're spending money on ads, or if they're posting content, or if they're just running any kind of marketing, that tells me that they understand the value of customer acquisition and they invest in those channels. So Claude Code goes and scrapes their ad libraries, meta ads, LinkedIn ads. It checks if they're running campaign or not. It uses external APIs like Firecrawl and Serper to crawl the internet and check for all such qualification signals, which tells me whether those leads are good fit or not. Then it analyzes everything, scores each lead against my criteria, remove those bad fits, and only passes those leads which were genuinely qualified. So by the time the lead reaches to my outreach tool, I'm already confident that I'm reaching out to the right person who's actually facing the pain point that I solve, and they can afford it as well. Now I've got the qualified leads. Now the next step is to get their emails. Again, Claude Code handles all of this. It pulls emails using Blitz API first that gets me the work emails for most contact. But here's the thing. Not every lead has a findable email through searchable databases, especially smaller companies. So Claude Code also scrapes their actual websites looking for the contact email, generic emails, anything useful in their footer. Then it verifies every single email using Alien Verifier, because sending to unverified emails is how you destroy your domain reputation. I have seen people spending thousands of dollars purchasing domains and inboxes, nuking their entire infrastructure just because they skip this step. So Claude Code scrapes, enriches, and verifies all in a single flow with a simple prompt. Now here's where it all comes together. And this is the part that still blows my mind every time I do it. See, the thing with Claude Code is that I gave it access to all my API keys once. Blitz API, Firecrawl, Million Verifier, instantly, everything. So Claude Code isn't just running one task at a time, but it has access to my entire infrastructure. It communicates with all these external APIs, it manages all the rate limits internally, and it handles all those errors and retries on its own, which means I can literally give it one prompt, something like this. I need a lead list of marketing agency owners in the UK with 10 to 50 employee count who are running meta ads. Enrich with their emails, verify them, and upload them to my Instantly workspace with this email sequence. And it does everything and drafts a campaign for me so that I can just launch it. And I forgot one important part. It also personalizes the emails. Like for my own outreach, I use a lot of custom variables. Things like leads business category, their ICP, the service they offer. I just want to use these custom variables and reference it into the actual email that I'm sending it to them. Claude Code scrapes their website using Firecrawl, pulls all that information and plugs it into my email template. So every single email feels like I wrote it specifically for that person. And that's the system. Now look, some of you watching this video might have a question that, how can I set all of this? How can I connect all the API keys? How can I connect all those different tools with each other inside of Claude Code? And how do I prompt it in the right way and ensure your campaigns are actually getting drafted? I have actually recorded a full paid course over 45 hours of content where I walk you through everything I just showed you in this video. The exact setup, the exact prompts, the exact API configurations, everything you need to replicate this system for yourself or for your clients. Link is in the description if you want to check it out. But even if you don't grab the course, here's what I want you to take away from this video. The tools don't matter as much as the system behind them. Whether you're using Clay or Claude Code or whatever comes next, the logic remains same. Find the right leads, qualify them properly, personalize your outreach, and automate the boring stuff. That's the game. If this video was helpful, then smash that like button. Subscribe if you want more breakdowns like this, and drop a comment if you have any questions that you want to ask me. I'll see you in the next one.